Leading the change. Leading the change, that's what we're talking about tonight. Leading the change. I thought it was a great title, but there was no content until I got on the plane between Atlanta and Colorado Springs 2 days ago. And I get to my seat, and I'm in seat B, which is the middle seat, between 76-year-old Marguerite and 83-year-old Dorothy. So I sit down and I'm like, hey ladies, how are we doing tonight? And ask them where they're from. Dorothy starts, she goes, I'm actually from, sorry, it was Marguerite. She goes, I'm actually from Ithaca, New York, but I moved to Colorado Springs. She goes, I actually started the Olympic Training Center in 1977. I'm sitting there going, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm like, really, can you tell me about it? I'm right in there. She says, you know, it was amazing. I moved from Ithaca specifically, and there were only 4 people that started that Olympic Training Center. And she goes, I want to tell you, it was hard work. We worked 80 hours a week. She goes, I used to go, what happened is the city of Colorado Springs donated the Army barracks, and it was not used for over 3 years. So it was just in complete disarray, damaged, empty, just dirty and gross. And she goes, 4 of us cleaned that whole building, and it took months to do it. And then we went every single day, and we knocked on doors, and we said, can you please, do you have an extra lamp? Do you have an extra bed? Do you have an extra dresser? Please. And the 4 of us filled the place with pieces of furniture here and there. And it was finally, it took months to get it prepared, but we accepted our first team there, and it was a junior hockey team. And it was their first team at the Olympic Training Center. She goes, but you don't understand how much work it takes. People today, you walk in there and you see this amazing thing. It started from nothing. It started from nothing. She goes, I actually remember where Congress issued the logo for the Olympic team, for the U.S. Olympic team. And she goes, I actually decided we should put this on shirts and try and sell it. It's now a $10 million a year business. More than that, it's tens of millions of dollars a year business. Right? And she goes, oh, I must be boring you. I must be boring you. I'm like, no. You don't understand. You don't understand. I'm highly interested in this. I'm a maximized living doctor, and we are currently leading a healthcare revolution, is what I told her. And she's like, oh, really? Tell me about it. So I walk her through the 5 essentials, and I tell her, you know, people are sick of taking their pills. They're sick of medicine. They're sick of this stuff, and they're looking for something different, and we are the difference. We are what they're looking for. And she goes, you know what? You're absolutely right, because 2 months ago, within a month each, my 2 best friends died from their medications. And then Dorothy pipes up, she goes, my husband was a physician. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And she goes, he had high blood pressure, and he took blood pressure medication, and it shut his kidneys down, and it killed him too young. I agree with you. That's what she says. 76 years old, 83 years old, they tell me what you guys are doing are going to save the lives of the kids today. That's what they tell me after I walk them through Maximized Living. Yeah. Who in their right mind wants medicine? You want to know what medicine is? Last 2 weeks of titles. Estrogen pills linked to increased stroke risk, ABC News. 60 lab studies now confirm cancer linked to childhood vaccines. Cancer linked to childhood vaccines. Hospital errors common and underreported. Complications and injuries occur in 1 out of 3 admissions. March 30, 2011, bacteria outbreaks in hospitals kills 9 patients, and Canada as well, killing tons of patients in Quebec. Drug recalls hit all-time high, up to 50% from 2008, CNN Money. Johnson & Johnson recalls 43 liquid kills, cold and flu meds that FDA says could cause bodily harm. You know, the FDA just pulled off 500 cold and flu medications from the shelf because it's killing your kids. 500. But they're saying, we're giving you 90 days to stop the production, and we're going to give you half a year to stop selling them. You see, it's sick. It's sick. It's sick. And then what does Sullivan tell us? If medicine shows up and they completely disappear, well, it's a 3% gain for the human race. They are killing us. They're destroying our families. And I can tell you this because I practice in Canada and I practice in the US. Everyone wants to know what the difference is. The Canadian ones do anyways. What's the difference? What's the difference? There is no difference. You know what's exactly the same though? People are dying for the truth. They're looking for something completely different. We are currently, right now, as we speak, at a post-critical mental plane when it comes to health and well-being. You understand what I'm saying there? The general public is now post-medicine and they're looking for something else. They just don't know what they're looking for. They don't know where to turn. They turn and they see alternative stuff. What am I going to put? Crystals on me? Pins in me? Is that the difference? Is that the alternative? No, of course not. Post-critical mass mental plane. And it became abundantly clear with the last person we hired. Just a young girl, 20-something years old, 2 kids. Within the first week, she shows up to our office to work. She has to leave because her kid's at the hospital in an emergency. Kid turns completely blue. She's just about to turn 2 years of age. Turns completely blue. And she goes, and I mean, obviously, she misses a few days of work, comes back, we start talking, and she says they have Kawasaki's disease. My kid has Kawasaki's disease, and they said she might die within 6 weeks to 6 months. That's the average for Kawasaki. And you guys know what it is. It's a connective tissue disorder, and what it does is it actually it actually makes your heart explode, blood vessels disintegrate. That's what it does. And she goes, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I said, you're going to follow the 5 essentials and we're going to help you. That's it. So I said, I want you to try and figure out where that came from. Why she has, because it's not in the family. And if you read what it says it's genetic, right? Genetic. And so she texts me on the weekend and she says, I figured it out. In the text, she goes, I've been on the internet for several hours now and I came across a journal called Pediatrics. And they said that if you get the hepatitis B vaccine and the rotavirus vaccine at the same time, you're more likely within 30 days to develop Kawasaki's disease. So I went back and I requested her records, and sure enough, 30 days right before, I got both shots for my daughter. So we start talking. She comes into the office. We're talking privately now, and she says this. And I've heard this so many frickin' times before. She goes, Dr. Joel, I knew it was wrong. She goes, I knew it wasn't right, but I didn't know what to do, as she's bawling telling me this. I just didn't know what to do. There was no one there to tell me what to do. I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And now my daughter might die. I'm like, she's not going to die. She's not going to die. But the point is that there are thousands of people, millions of them, who say, I don't know where to do and I don't know where to turn. I don't know where to turn, but do we know what the answer is? My God, people. My God, they are begging for us. They're looking for us everywhere, but we don't want to speak up. But I'll tell you this, the last several years, we've laid a foundation for maximized living that we are ready to revolutionize healthcare. We are ready. We're assembling the team, just like the teams that are assembled at the training center. We have assembled the teams to revolutionize and change this planet. But I'll tell you, I walk into Advanced this morning, both Advanced rooms, and I walk into Elite, and I watch people walk up there and train, and I see fear, and I see uncertainty, and I see disbelief, and I see doubt, and I see anxiety. Do you not know that you're a freaking leader? My goodness, you're the leader who's going to revolutionize healthcare. You're the leader. As a CA, you're the leader who's going to revolutionize healthcare. We have to believe it here first. So immediately after there, I run up to my room, and I'm like, I need to write down steps on how to become a leader. So I want you to write this down. Few thoughts on how to become a better leader and lead the change. Number 1, be the type of person who can make decisions. Make decisions quickly and promptly And don't look back. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a small decision or it's a big decision. It could be, where do I hang the posters? It could be, where are we going for dinner tonight, honey? Oh, I don't know. You decide. No, I don't know. You decide. No, I don't know. We've all been there. Make the frickin' decision. The more decisions you make, the better the leader you become. It could be big decisions as to, where do I open my practice? Or telling a patient, stop this medication. It's killing you. Like a couple days ago, I forget, OPD in the office. The guy's telling us about the drugs he's on, and the guy's freaking destroyed spine. He's just an absolute wreck. And I look at him, I stop after the adjustment. I said, Robert, you need to stop these pills. They're killing you. He goes, how do I do it? How do I do it? I know they're killing me. How do I do it? I said, you either go to your doctor or you ask me. And I'll show you how. He goes, I want you to show me how. And then afterwards, what happens? The OPD who's in the room, she's like, are we allowed to do this? I don't know if we're allowed to do this. I don't give a crap if we're allowed to do it or not. We are the leader, and we do what's right, whether we like it or not. We make the decisions, and we move forward, and we don't look back in the mirror, because if you look back in the mirror, guess what happens? You're now afraid to make decisions, and you procrastinate, and you waste your freaking life, and you never move forward. Make decisions quickly. Don't second guess the decisions. That's number 2. Number 3. When you're called on for your opinion, be assertive. This morning in the training, well, the nerve that goes to the heart, if you cut it, be assertive. Leaders are assertive. They speak directly. They speak to the person. They make eye contact. You be assertive. Subluxation kills. Zeno's got the best line. Roses are red, violets are blue, subluxations kill. Period. Number 4, accept that transition can be uncomfortable. My God, no kidding. Change is not always easy, but implement the change. What did he say? Get out of your comfort zone. Make the decisions and move forward. For me, the 5 essentials, no problem, except when it comes to adjusting. 10 years I've adjusted the same, and I know I get the darn results. And now I got to change? Holy jeez, that's hard. It's hard, man, but I'm doing it. It's taking time, but I'm doing it. Every day I get a little bit better, making the change at my technique, as an example. Isn't it not hard? Is it just me? Whatever. Sacrifice. Number 5, sacrifice. True sacrifice does not mean giving away everything you have. Giving away all your time. That's not true sacrifice. That is unwise. Unwise. True sacrifice means, sometimes it's better to give than to receive. Like Zeno, who gave of his time and traveled 2.5 hours and saved this guy's life. That's sacrifice. That's what we're talking about. And when you put these things together, you start to develop leadership skills. And as a team, we become stronger because you're developing your leadership skills and you're developing your leadership skills, and you're not just depending on Ben and Greg. You see it? We are the leaders. We are making the change. We are making the change, not going to. It's already happening. So I get off the plane. As I'm walking off, she goes, oh, excuse me, Marguerite does. She goes, it was the Miracle on Ice. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, the junior hockey team in 1977, that was the first team at the Olympic Training Center. She goes, they went to Lake Placid in 1980, and they beat the Russians. And nobody believed it. Nobody believed it could be done, and they called it the Miracle on Ice. I'm like, damn. Is that not amazing that she said that to me? So you're going to go back, and we're going to hear from you, some people in the crowd, and you're going to hear from other chiropractors, and you're going to hear from the voices in your head that Zeno talked about, and they're going to say, change the world, you're freaking nuts. Change the world, it's never going to happen. You're just a group of chiropractors. What are you talking about, change the world? And you know what? I don't care if you call it a miracle. I don't care what you call it. I don't know, divine intervention, call it whatever the F you want. But we are leading the change. And we are revolutionizing healthcare right now, people, right now. Be the leader. Thank you.